On June 16, 2010, in Palmdale, California, 29-year-old LaNell Barsock had made plans with her friend, Lorraine Austin, to complete a sew-in hairstyle that had been started the previous day. Lorraine arrived at LaNell's home around 10 a.m., but things quickly took a turn for the worse. A heated confrontation broke out between LaNell and her boyfriend, Luis, after he discovered a hidden phone she had been using. The phone revealed that LaNell had been involved in a romantic relationship with another man. Tragically, that confrontation would be the last time LaNell was seen alive. Roughly 6 hours later, Lorraine appeared at the police station to report a horrifying discovery. LaNell's lifeless body was in the garage, lying near her car. The scene was gruesome. The amount of blood present initially led officers to believe she had been severely beaten. While there were no signs of forced entry into the home, investigators noticed clear evidence that someone had tried to clean up the crime scene. An area rug in the living room had been shifted, and there were visible traces of blood. At first, Lorraine pointed the finger at LaNell's boyfriend, alleging that he had murdered her. But as detectives delved deeper into the case, the investigation took an unexpected turn. The evidence began to reveal a different story, one that suggested the killer was not who they initially suspected. In fact, the person responsible for LaNell's death was someone much closer than anyone could have imagined. This is the chilling and tragic story of LaNell Barsock. LaNell Crystal Barsock was born on July 27, 1980, in Palmdale, located in Los Angeles County, California. She was raised in South Los Angeles by her mother, Bobby, and grew up as the middle child in a family of 5 siblings. She had 2 older siblings and 2 younger ones, with her eldest brother named Jerome. From a young age, LaNell was known for her calm but active personality. She was the family's anchor, always stepping into the role of peacemaker and mediator whenever tensions arose. Academically, she excelled. She was an honor roll student in elementary school and continued that trend after joining Crenshaw High School, where she also made the honor roll. LaNell truly enjoyed school, and after graduating in 1998, she enrolled at Cal State Long Beach. She studied there for about a year and a half while also beginning work at 2 hospitals. Driven by a passion for caring for others, LaNell entered a nursing program and became a licensed vocational nurse. But her ambitions didn't stop there. After some time in the workforce, she decided to return to school to become a registered nurse. In 2006, she met Louis Bonheur, an immigrant from Haiti who had come to the U.S. in 2005 and was taking ESL classes at the same school where LaNell studied nursing. Their first interaction happened when LaNell offered Louis a ride home after seeing him waiting at a bus stop. Soon after, their relationship blossomed and became serious. Eventually, they moved in together. LaNell started working at a clinic in Los Angeles, while Louis found employment with the city of Hawthorne as a maintenance worker. By 2009, the couple bought a 3-bedroom house in Palmdale. But shortly after settling in, their relationship began to deteriorate. LaNell started confiding in friends about growing problems with Louis. Despite having discussed marriage, LaNell began reconsidering her future with him. Though they still lived together, she began exploring other romantic options and started seeing another man. This man gave her a separate phone to communicate with him privately. Louis, however, became aggressive, once even trying to run LaNell off the road when she told him she wanted to leave. Their arguments escalated. Police were called at least once to intervene in a dispute between them. Louis's growing jealousy and controlling behavior pushed LaNell further away emotionally. She continued living with him, but her heart was elsewhere. In the summer of 2010, LaNell dreamed of turning their home into an adult daycare facility, a step toward entrepreneurship, but she would never see that dream fulfilled. On June 16, 2010, LaNell had arranged for her friend Lorraine Austin to finish doing her hair, a sew-in she had started the day before. Lorraine arrived around 10 a.m., but not long after, tensions exploded between LaNell and Louis. He had discovered the secret phone and realized someone had added minutes to it, contradicting what LaNell had told him. An argument erupted, and in an attempt to defuse the situation, LaNell and Lorraine left the house to go to the beauty supply store. Louis followed them and confronted LaNell again, leading her to hand over the phone in hopes of ending the conflict. He left afterward. The women picked up a pizza, grabbed drinks, and returned to the house by noon. Luis was there again. According to Lorraine, another argument broke out. About 6 hours later, she appeared at the police station and reported finding her friend dead in the garage. Lorraine claimed she had visited earlier, witnessed the argument, left to go for a walk, and returned later to find Lenel's body in a pool of blood with a plastic bag over her head. She had blood on her clothes and claimed she slipped in it upon discovering the body. Police followed her to the house and found Lenel's lifeless body in the garage near her car. At first, due to the amount of blood, officers thought she had been beaten to death. There were no signs of forced entry, but subtle indicators showed someone had tried to clean up the crime scene. A moved area rug in the living room, bloody towels in the laundry room, and evidence of attempted cleanup pointed to a staged scene. At the station, Lorraine was hysterical and emotional, saying she and Lenel had been friends for 10 years. She recounted how Louis had found out about the affair, confronted Lenel repeatedly, and how she eventually left the house out of discomfort. She claimed to have seen Louis at the top of the stairs when she returned and, too scared to call 911, drove straight to the station. Lorraine's story painted Louis as a jealous and enraged boyfriend, which led police to investigate him more thoroughly. They found him at Bobby's house in LA. When told someone was on the phone for him, Louis reportedly asked, "Is this about Lenel?" Bobby had no idea her daughter had been murdered until then. Louis was brought in for questioning. He admitted to arguing with Lenel and following her to the hair store. However, he insisted he left for Los Angeles around 12:30 p.m. to meet Lorraine's boyfriend, who was supposed to fix his car. They visited auto parts stores together. Detectives didn't initially believe him, especially since he had a scratch on his face. But then the evidence shifted dramatically. The receipts found in Louis' car showed he was in Los Angeles during the time of the murder. Surveillance footage from 2 auto parts stores confirmed his alibi. The stores were located far from Palmdale, making it impossible for him to commit the murder within that time frame. Attention then turned to Lorraine. Her story began to unravel. When she initially arrived at the station, she allowed police to search her belongings, and they found 2 bullets in her purse. She claimed it was harmless, but detectives remained suspicious. Oddly, none of Lenel's family members knew Lorraine, despite her claim of a 10-year friendship. Bobby recounted how a blood-covered woman she didn't recognize hugged her at the station, saying she had gone to high school with Lenel, but Bobby knew that wasn't true. Investigators dug into Lenel's phone records and discovered she and Lorraine had been in a sexual relationship. Lorraine had lied, not just about the nature of their bond, but about how and when they met. They had only known each other for a few months after meeting on Craigslist through a Women Seeking Women ad. Text messages revealed Lenel had ended their romantic relationship a week before her death. Lorraine never disclosed this to police. When asked to take a polygraph test, she agreed, but kept avoiding it. Then, the DNA results came in. Lorraine's DNA was found on bloody gloves at the scene. Her fingerprint was on a pitcher used to clean up blood. A handwriting expert determined the Dear John letter was forged. Lenel hadn't written it. Lorraine had. Detectives concluded Lorraine had become obsessed with Lenel. They believe she came over that day pretending to finish Lenel's hair, but instead shot her in the back of the head while she sat in the living room. She then dragged her body into the garage and tried to move it into the trunk, but failed. She created the fake letter to frame Louis. After killing Lenel, Lorraine attempted to assume her identity, even introducing herself as Lenel to other women. Her plan may have worked, had the receipts and DNA not pointed elsewhere. Once suspicion turned toward her, Lorraine vanished. A manhunt began. Eventually, after being featured on America's Most Wanted, she was located in Belize. In January 2012, a year and a half after fleeing, Lorraine was arrested and extradited to the U.S. She pleaded not guilty, but the jury found her guilty. She received a life sentence with a minimum of 50 years before parole eligibility. She remains imprisoned in a California facility. May LaNell Barsock's soul rest in peace.